Hi, if you're seeing this video, it means you have bought the Filters Cube Series modular storage components. Now, the Cube Series does cover a few sideboards and a few TV storage units, but rest assured, the assembly is all the same. The parts we have here in particular are our double-fronted Cube Series. So while the one we're making today may be different from the one you bought, the assembly instructions are still the same. They may vary depending on the size you have ordered. Now, to begin any Cube Series component, you need to first build the skeletal structure, or the frame. For that, you're going to need a little side panel with 4 holes, the 2 hinge with screw holes, and 2 of the 14mm screws, as well as their respective fasteners. And of course, you're going to need a screwdriver. As you may have seen previously, an IKEA toolkit is highly recommended, or at the very least, a screwdriver, a hammer, and a spare cinder block. There are ones included, however feel free to supply your own. There is a timber block included, however feel free to grab your own.
Turn towards to me on the side.
Rolling? Yep.
And turn around towards to...
Alright, now that the frame is done, you can leave that aside and we can move on to the steel panels. Now, each panel is wrapped individually as such, nice and sealed. All you have to do is tear it open. I would advise not using a knife, as you can just easily rip it with your hands and you wouldn't want to scratch the metal surface. Just like that. Now for the panels, you'll see a few different types. The blank ones you'll see a lot of. There will be a few panels depending on the size of your sideboard or unit with 2 holes. That will be for the door stops to install later. And then there will be a few panels with 4 holes on the side, which will be for the door hinges, which we'll also install later. Now, each panel needs to have some plastic tabs inserted in them. They look like this, and you'll receive plenty of them with a few spares. They do break somewhat easily, so don't use too much force to put them in. To put them in, just put either side into the edge gaps you'll see. Now, you won't be able to push it all the way in, which is when you'll need to grab the plastic hammer that's included or the wooden block, just to tap it all the way in. Right, so you're just inserting the tabs into all 4 edge sides of the gaps, just like such. As you can see, the plastic tabs look like this. One side does push in and one side remains flat. That is just how it gets into the space there. And just as before, you're just hitting it with a reasonable amount of force. There you go. Now again, they can break off the top tab. I've done that with a few panels. You can just replace it with another one. There are plenty of spares. Now, for this step, this is what you would want to do before you start assembling, as there are approximately 10 to 20 panels, so you're going to need to do this a lot of times. And with these plastic parts that peel off when you put the tabs in, that's normal, don't worry. You can just tear them off, no stress. And now it comes to installing the panels onto the beam you have put together. So with the alignment of the panels, when it's upright, you always want the top curve to be in an L shape, or only turning it to your left. So for example, when I'm fitting this onto the bottom here, it's going to be face down like that, connecting to the legs. Should fit nice and snugly in there. Right, after you finish the construction of the bar, you also want to be putting these plastic tabs into the little side holes. Just like that. Now, when it comes to connecting your panels to the beam, you have one thing to keep in mind, and that is the face of the sideboard or TV unit. Now, the side facing you, assembling as I am here, is the front. The back half facing towards the camera, as you see now, is the back of the unit. Now that's important because there are 2 types of connectors. There are these connectors with the little knob sticking out of it. These will go at the back of the unit. And the ones without will be at the front. Now, you'll notice that these things have holes in the front of them. That signifies that they are the first connector you want to put in. Now, I'll show the back because that's facing towards the camera. You want to be placing the metal panel slides right into the plastic tabs you've connected before. Just like such. And you'll need to hammer it in with the plastic hammer or wooden block. And with the front ones without the knob, you're just putting on the front face towards yourself. And you just want to hammer it in. And for the panels next to it, it's the same thing. Follow your L shape and just slide it right underneath. And for the connecting piece, you'll see your single filed ones. For the back, you would want to grab the knob one and put it in as such. And with the middle piece, again, just front facing towards you with no knob, and just hit it in with the hammer. And with your wood block, it is advised that you drill a hole just over there, just so you can fit it onto the knob and not ruining the product. And now for the very center of your piece, you want to grab these 3 parts here. One will be a hole connector with equal sides, and the other 2 will be one of each with the big metal panel on either side. The first one you want to put in is the one with 2 holes, just sliding it into the piece as such. And the next ones you want to put in are just the one with the big panel facing the empty panel with no connector in just yet. As such. And just hammer that in. And for the back, again, facing the camera, not myself, you're going to need these three parts here. The knob with the equal side back slots, and one of each with the right to left back slots. The back ones are labelled for you to understand which ones they are. Again, the first one you want to put in is the one with equal side panels, also the one with the knob. So we're just going to slot that in nice and easy. Again, just using that hole to balance in. Then for the second one, again, just find the one where the bigger back panel slots into the actual metal panel, as such. There you go, and as you can see, the little curve just slots into the knob. Now, when you start to build your piece vertical, you've got to keep in mind your door holes. Now, the ones where the door hinges will be inserted into have the 4 holes. Just remember your L rule, and you want to put them where that L rule makes sense. For example, you want to start on eye left side and just slotting it in as such. And again, with your back piece, with the hole, you just want to find where it inserts as such. Same with the front, just find your front facing piece and insert it as such. Now, for the middle panel, it is also going to be the door hole panel. Reason being, remember your L shape, and you're slotting it in as such. And to connect it, take that connector piece you didn't use before and just slot it in over the top of the other ones. And same with the front, take that piece you didn't use before and just slot it over the top. And like with the rest of what you have done so far, just keep building it up until you do the roof. And now that you've built up the first vertical layer of your panels, you will begin on the top side. Now, you have 2 panels, or however many panels of door units you got, with 2 holes. These are for the doorstop, so you'd want to put them on the opposite top side to your door holes. So in this case, it would be here and here, making sure that the holes stay as far away on the front side as possible. Won't worry about that just yet. Now, when fixing in the first layer and any subsequent layer, put all your plugs in first, and then you can start hammering them in. Now that you've finished the frame, we'll be moving on to the door. As you can see, it is also sealed and has the 2 spaces for where you're going to put the door hinges, matching up with where you put the 4 holes. And now, everything you'll need for the door is what we have currently outlined. You'll need 2 door hinges per door, our little screw covers, the doorstop pieces, and the small bag of screws. once you have installed the door hinges, you'll be installing the door stopper. Now, you'll be screwing in the top part first and then inserting the bottom where that top part goes. For the top part, you want to make sure the outer railings are facing the front. And now that you've finished the first door, just remember with the second door, we are flipping it around, so it's still opening outwards. And now that we've finished installing the door, all that's left is to do the back panels and the back support bars. Now, back panels are also wrapped. You can just open them up with no worries. And you're just aligning the little bumps in the back panel with the knobs you've left on the back here. So when you put the back panel in, you just want to align the bottom middle knob first, and then push up until you slide it right on the top knob. Now, if the top knob isn't quite fitting, you need to grab the panel from the other side and just lift it up a bit so it fits right in. And the back panel should fit nice and snug as such. Now for your final step, all you need are the bars you have received and the metallic screw tops with the little barrel on them. Now, as you can see here, this is the formation you would want to put the bars in, with an X over the top inner squares, only 2 reaching across the back panels to keep them secured, and 1 more going out to the last edge here. Once you have put the bars in as such, you just want to screw the barrel tops right in.